Yes, guys, what's going on? Adam McCullough here for Full Time Devils. And finally, Aaron Wan Bissaka has been confirmed as a Manchester United player. We can finally say welcome Aaron Wan Bissaka. I felt like the Rock back in WWF Raw days. And finally, Aaron Wan Bissaka is a Red. Yes, what a signing for Manchester United. I'm absolutely delighted by this one. Buzzing Aaron Wan Bissaka is signing for Manchester United. A player that I've said a number of times should be signing for the club. The player that we need to be signing to fill our right back position. I've said it a couple of times before. I've said it in 3 and 3 out. And Aaron Wan Bissaka is a Red. I'm absolutely delighted about this one. He signs for Manchester United on a 5-year deal with an option to extend for a further year. The 21-year-old comes in and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is saying Aaron is one of the best upcoming defenders in the Premier League. He has the right work ethic, talent and mentality to play for Manchester United, and he fits exactly the type of player that we are looking to bring into the squad to help us improve and push on further. Aaron is a young, hungry player and eager to learn, and that's important at this age. I'm delighted he has signed with us, and we look forward to continuing his tremendous development so far. We've got the pictures of him signing his contract at Manchester United. Although we had those pictures previously, we've seen the leaked images of him in his Manchester United shirt. We've seen the leaked images of him signing his contract, and of course one of his entourage, I'm not sure whether it was his uncle, his father, or so, they were taking pictures at Carrington. They were taking pictures behind the scenes, and they uploaded a lovely little montage of the pictures with music, the sort of thing your dad makes on Facebook. Got released by one of his entourage, and we all saw it last night. We knew Wan Bissaka was a Manchester United player. We were all sat around thinking, what's going on? What's the hold up? Why haven't they announced it yet? Are United, are they worried by the Glazer out protest? Are they thinking we can't announce a signing whilst all this is going on? Well, it dragged on, and finally at 12:02 p.m. in the UK, Aaron Wan Bissaka was confirmed as a Manchester United player, and we got those images of him in a Manchester United shirt, the proper, nice, crispy ones that the club released. Now we want to know, we've heard Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's opinion. We want to know your opinion on Aaron Wan Bissaka. We want to know your opinion on the signing. £45 million plus £5 million add-ons as well. I think there are appearance-related add-ons. That is the figure for Manchester United. So a potential £50 million fee and a 5-year deal plus the option for an extra year. We hear the wages could be around £80,000 per week. And United Lionesses is saying finally no more Ashley Young at right back. That seems to be a common theme amongst the comments this afternoon. Dave says now Ashley Young moves to centre half. Apratim says it's the best right back signing. It is the perfect signing for Manchester United right back. King Tomo says great talent, great future, fully worth it. Just wish we got it done quicker. Well, to be fair, he had the under-21 tournament with the UEFA Nation under-21s tournament. Was it the Euros? So obviously he was out there with them. He couldn't have completed the move earlier than that. He came back. Obviously this could have been announced 2-3 days ago, but it's not. It's still June. We've got him done. He can go away on holiday now, come back just in time for pre-season training. Aaron Wan Bissaka is a Red. Now I do have some reservations. We've got to realise we're not signing the finished article, but his stats are very good. His performances are very good in the last 18 months of him being a Premier League player, and he is definitely one of the best right backs in the league. But to be one of the best right backs in the world, to be one of the best right backs in Europe, you have to sustain that for a period of time. And we need to see that from Wan Bissaka. We need to see an improvement in his game as well, particularly going forward. He could get a little bit better. Defensively, he's very good. His tackling is very good. His timing, his anticipation, his pacing, recovery, very good. And that gives him the ability to run forward. That gives him the ability to push forward. And we've had Luke Shaw down the left-hand side. And he's been able to, when Manchester United have been at the best, he's linked up with Martial and Pogba. We've had nothing the same going down the right-hand side. Now, if we can build something down the right-hand side, we've signed Daniel James as well, which shows a particular profile of player signing for Manchester United. But if we sign Aaron Wan Bissaka down the right, if we can get it resolved down the right, have a good left-hand side, a strong right-hand side, strength down the middle, if we can do that, then Manchester United will be definitely going in the right direction. But this is a decent signing for the club. He's not the finished article, but he's a player that improves our position at right back immediately and can only improve. Exactly the type of player I want to see signing for Manchester United. And at £50 million, let's say worst case scenario, he isn't a success. You can sell him for 30 million in a few years' time. Let's say he is a success. You get 5 to 10 years out of him, and that money is then paid back. Yes, £50 million is a big amount of money, but £50 million these days is £30 million, you know, a number of years ago. So, yeah, Aaron Wan Bissaka signing can only mean good things for United. Spesh says he can defo make our first 11, and he's certainly a prospect for the future. I think he will fit right in. He seems to be about his game. And we heard those comments as well from Wilfred Zaha, his Crystal Palace teammate. We heard those comments about him. And what we heard was he's a player that goes training, does bits, goes to the match, does the job, goes home, keeps his head down. As we've seen in the pictures of him turning up at Carrington, he's a very family-orientated man. Happy for him. Absolutely delighted for him. Niall Gibbons says, great to see you back. Thank you very much, Niall. Thanks for joining us here. Where's Maguire, says Matum. Already everyone's attention turns to who's next in, because we do still need to bring a number of players in. We can't be getting excited because we've got a decent bit of business done. We need to continue in rebuilding this squad, bringing the players in we need. We need a centre half. Central midfield needs to be sorted with maybe 1 or 2 signings. And then if Lukaku goes, you need a player that can play in the attacking lineup. Do we need a right winger still, or are we relying on Daniel James to come in and be the change that we need? What do you guys think in terms of the right hand side? King Tomo says, Adam, just think no more saying Young started at right back. Liam says, any story on Aubameyang? Nothing on Aubameyang. What happens with Delo, says Miss Nomad 1. Good question. I think with Diogo Delo, he's still very young, so he's got plenty of years ahead of him. But what we need to realise as well with Diogo Delo is that he can also play left back, so he can provide competition to both positions, left back and right back. And yeah, I think Diogo Delo still has a massive chance to do things at Manchester United. Who's next? Bruno, Longstaff, Maguire, says Bill. Ben Yeddas, Pepe, says Legend Killer. Now, in terms of Bruno being an interesting signing, obviously got high amount of goals and assists in the Portuguese league. Can he translate that to the Premier League? Been linked with Manchester United, been linked with Liverpool. You don't know what's true, what isn't. Longstaff continues to be linked. Would that be enough to strengthen the central midfield area, Bruno and Longstaff? Who are we going to sign at centre half? Is it going to be Maguire? Is it going to be Alderweireld? Is it going to be Issa Diop? Is it going to be Kalidou Koulibaly? Who's it going to be? There's so many names linked with Manchester United. It might be a name that we've not heard of. But who's going to come in at centre half? These are positions that have to be covered. Now, if we don't sign, we're speaking about who's coming in at centre half, who's coming in at central midfield, like it's definitely going to happen. Now, that's because we think it needs to happen. It should happen. Surely it's going to happen right away. But what if it doesn't? We're doomed. So we need to make this Aaron Wan Bissaka a good signing by bringing in more quality in other areas of the field. Because if we have holes at central midfield, our defence still isn't going to improve massively. So we need to make sure we're improving the rest of the team. We've lost Herrera. We need to replace him in the squad. We've lost... We already needed to bring a midfielder in before losing Herrera. So yeah, we need to be making and strengthening in a number of positions before we can say it's been a good summer. But this bit of business I am absolutely delighted with. I rate Bruno Fernandes, Stefan. Sean Longstaff as our box to box. I think Sean Longstaff is an interesting one. If Sean Longstaff was our only central midfield signing, I'd be disappointed, because I think we'd be going into the window, into the season with a lack of cover, a lack of quality, a lack of depth in that central midfield area. But I wouldn't be disappointed with a signing Longstaff. He's got an eye for a pass, decent player, decent engine, of course, all potential, but £25 million, it's not a massive risk. He's a player that's still young, so he's going to have a resale value. He's not going to demand high wages. He's not going to demand a massive transfer fee. And you look at it and you think, if you get your centre half, if you get your other central midfielder, and you bring him in, then that's not bad at all. And I could cope with that. If we made a centre half, Longstaff, and another central midfield signing, then I'd be pretty happy with that going into the season. Of course, if Lukaku goes, you need an attacker to cover someone there. Pogo Gamer says, would you take Bale on loan? I'm still on loan, maybe, but if you're taking him on loan, it's still a big chunk of wages. If we get rid of Alexis Sanchez, I'd take Gareth Bale, but probably not both of them. Although Alexis is having a good Copa America, so maybe he's ready to come back and absolutely smash it. What's different about him and McTominay, says Saul? From what I've seen, Longstaff's better with the ball in terms of his passing. But again, I think McTominay could provide a decent squad option, and maybe more. Who knows how he develops? But yeah, I don't think we can rely on McTominay being the man. Is Longstaff injury prone? I'm not sure about injury prone, as I don't know what his record was like previously to him becoming a first team player, but I know he's had an injury recently. Miles says, what's your outlook on the upcoming season? If we continue to make a number of signings that improve the team, and I like Wan Bissaka in terms of being hungry and young and having great potential, but also being quality now, then if we can get 2 or 3 more of those, then I'd be confident going into the season that we can try and get back into the top 4. Who knows what can happen when you're there. But if we don't fill in those gaps, centre half, central midfield ×2, then I'd be a little bit worried. At the moment, if we went into the season with this squad, I'd say 4th if we're lucky. Maddison would be a good signing, but can see United going for Maguire. We won't get both. That's a good point. Very good point. Wonder what happens in regards to James Maddison and Harry Maguire. Obviously, West Ham won't have any need to sell. They won't need the money. They must be making decent dosh from the Premier League. They've won the league recently. Obviously, TV money's big, so they don't need to sell. But they could recoup, 80 million they want for Maguire. I don't think he's worth that, but players are worth whatever a team will pay for them. And Maddison will, I'm sure, if you can get 50 million for Wan Bissaka, James Maddison's probably worth around the same fee. So they'll be looking for big money for those players, and that may put teams off. Tielemans is one though, available from Monaco. Obviously he was on loan at Leicester. Do you think Axel and Fosu Mensah will get first team chance next season? I don't want to speak about 3 in 3 out too much. We did one recently which is going to be out soon, but a couple of my outs were made with those guys coming back into the squad in mind. I know Fosu's had a big injury, and hopefully he can come back, as fit as he was. But Axel Twanzebe, interesting. Do you give him another season with Villa, a season in the Premier League, maybe getting 15, 20, maybe more Premier League starts, or do you bring him back into big competition? Obviously depends on who we sign, who we let go. But if we let go Rojo, say, I'd be more than happy with Axel Tuanzebe coming in and taking his job. And I think Axel Tuanzebe would eventually overtake Smalling and Jones in the pecking order. So I'd be more than happy for him to become a part of our squad in terms of our defence. Daz says Rakitic would be a terrible signing. I was looking at the rumours regarding Rakitic earlier. At 31 years old and he'd cost around 40-50 million pounds. It doesn't seem to. It's a move similar to Matic in a sense, where he might give you a good 6 months, 12 months, but with that, new team lift and all that. But are you going to get much out of him beyond that? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Anyway, guys, this has been the Welcome Wan Bissaka live stream here on Full Time Devils. I have been Adam McCauley. You guys have been legends. Make sure you're keeping it locked to Full Time Devils. We'll be back as soon as any news is announced regarding Manchester United and transfers. Who will come in the door next? Who will be going out next? As we can see, Herrera has gone on a free, and it looks like he's joining PSG, although nothing's been announced yet. Valencia has signed for LDU Quito out in Ecuador. And we've brought in Daniel James and Aaron Wan Bissaka. Who will come into the club next? That remains to be seen. But we'll keep you up to date along with it here on Full Time Devils. Anyway, guys, I'm Adam McCauley. I'm going to get out of here. But before I go, make sure you're subscribing. Click that red subscribe button if you haven't already. And help us hit 550,000 subs. See you later.